Here are my picks for my favorite picture of the year and my least favorite picture of the year. My number one favorite picture of the year, which I think will also win the Oscar, and I sure hope it does, is 12 Years a Slave.
Solomon Northup is an expert player on the violin.
I was born a free man, lived with my family in New York.
Be good for your mother.
Until the day I was deceived.
To Solomon.
Kidnapped. Sold into slavery.
When I saw this movie, I was just thinking to myself, I really wish that boat scene in Amistad, where you really saw what everybody was going through in the opening, was more like that film. That whole film was what I wanted that scene to be, and it really shows the horrors of slavery. It even shows you some aspects that you don't even know about in terms of the ownership of the slaves.
What'd you say to Pats?
No words were spoken, none of consequence.
You're a liar. You're a damn liar.
Steve McQueen really shines with his directorial style, where you see these long takes of these single shots, and they're not just thrown in there for the sake of it. You actually watch these takes, and through that, you start to kind of pick them apart and try to understand each aspect of them as to why certain things are happening. That's something that McQueen has done beautifully throughout all his films. There's that 10-minute take that's just one shot of Michael Fassbender and a priest talking together in Hunger, and there's these other great takes, these long takes of Michael Fassbender, who obviously works with McQueen all the time. He's worked with all three of his films in Shame, where he's just jogging, trying to get things out of his mind. And in this film, depicting what it does and not cutting away from these horrible events that you see, it shines wonderfully, and I think McQueen's going to be around for a long time as a true directorial power, and if he wins the Oscar, he'll be our first ever black director to win the Oscar, and that would be something that would be just phenomenal to see. What's my worst picture of the year? That would have to be Jobs.
These are state of the art. Nobody's making anything like this.
Welcome to Apple Computer.
Is this everything?
Startup.
Fuck Jobs. Fuck Jobs. This was a movie that was just another biopic made for the sake of profiting off of somebody's death. And although the movie doesn't show Steve Jobs as a great person, as a matter of fact, they show a lot of weaker aspects of him, the movie fails to really capitalize on what drives him, and that mostly has to do with his family and things of that nature, which if you read Walter Isaacson's autobiography on Steve Jobs, there's aspects in it that if it were put in the picture, it would have really solidified a lot of what drives Steve Jobs in the first place.
You look around and you see the great products, but a lot of times people fail to look and go, well, who is responsible for a part of your everyday world, and this is his story.
When you're telling a true story about somebody, you should have your facts straight, and that movie gets a lot of facts wrong.
So you're saying the movie over-glorifies Steve?
Sure. Yeah, it didn't talk about a lot of things. When Steve was it made it look like he's forced out of the company for no good reason.
And it was a rush job. Ashton Kutcher was, practically just Ashton Kutcher.
Number 2, being sexy.
They cast him because he looked the role, but he couldn't play the role. And it's just awful. It made me want to kill myself.
The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
What? Where's the fucking car? We should have gotten a fucking permit. Close the door. Come on, we gotta fucking go now.